Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the market close for Wednesday, November 20th, also known as Nvidia earnings day. Oh boy, gotta love that. So there's a lot that's going to be going on, of course, with Nvidia. Before we get any farther, I'm going to apologize. I'm going to be a little cracky today because I have managed to pick up the flu. Funny thing is, I picked up the flu most likely on the day I went out to get my flu shot. So that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. But it does happen. It does happen for sure. So but as I said over on Discord and on Facebook, the show must go on. So we are going to we're going through this market close and we're going to watch and see what happens with Nvidia. Speaking of that, I've put a poll up there. Let's find out. Are you guys expecting Nvidia to rise or fall? Last time we did this 3 months ago, I think we were all very, very bullish. And even though Nvidia, even though they beat expectations, they still fell. So holy banana bread. We're going to see what they're going to do today. We're going to see what they do today. It should be fun. But before we get to that, we of course got a red market. So let's take a quick old gander at, and let me see here. Here we go. Let's take a gander and see where we are at. Oh, that's Bitcoin, by the way. We just opened on Bitcoin. Bitcoin hit a brand new all-time high again today. So that little green line is their all-time high. Now, here's the interesting thing. I was charting a little bit of movement here earlier in the week in Bitcoin, and I was predicting a breakout. I was actually predicting them to get to 95,100, but here's that thing. 95,000 is at psychological level. So that's basically what we got to. We just almost touched 95,000, and then we had a little bit of a sell-off. So I was kind of expecting that. So now we are moving back up. And maybe we'll break this. Actually, it's going to be fun to see how Bitcoin responds to whatever's going to happen this afternoon to Nvidia. So that's going to be fun for sure. But let's get to the TSX. So the TSX, it is a red market. Not by much. We're only down 0.04%. And, well, actually 0.03%. See, look at that. It improved as we're talking. Maybe if I stick on them long enough and I keep talking about them, we'll get up to 0.02. No, it's not moving. But they are finishing strong. You can sort of see we've got a couple of green candles in the last couple of hours. So that's looking pretty good. There's not a lot of market news this week, as in like meetings and things like that. We did have, of course, the CPI. Yesterday, and inflation in Canada has gone up a little bit. Now, we were anticipating it going up. It actually went up a little bit more. We were anticipating it coming in at 1.9. It went all the way to 2. So that's kind of be interesting. That has to be an interesting conversation at the Bank of Canada, because it really was looking like a sure thing in December for another 50 basis points. But maybe in light of this, they might be considering 25. So that's going to be a really interesting thing. And we'll talk more. Oh, look at this. It's already up to 0.01. Fantastic. The S&P 500, also 0.01 in the hole. So pretty much it's flat. You could call those flat. The NASDAQ right now, 27 in the hole. But keep in mind, I got that delay on the NASDAQ. So that's about 15 minutes behind. The Dow Jones is in the green, though. They're up 0.36%. Gold is in the green as well. Now, there's kind of a reasoning for that. A lot of this red and the uncertainty we've been seeing in the market the last couple of days, it's not really economically driven. It's geopolitically driven. So the stuff that's been going on over in Russia and Ukraine has certainly put people on edge. So anybody living under a rock, basically the U.S. gave Ukraine permission to use long-range missiles on Russia. Now, they did say only in certain areas, but that was kind of one of them red lines that Russia had said don't cross, and yeah, we crossed it. So, and Ukraine took no time. They fired, I think, about 6 yesterday into a military compound in Russia. So Russia's a little annoyed. Their response to that, their response was to say, okay, we're now authorizing the use of nuclear weapons on a conventional attack, a large scale conventional attack. So, they didn't really specify, like, what is large scale? Like, if you go more than 20 tanks, is that large scale? Or is that 100 tanks? So we don't know. It's just a bunch of uncertainty. And of course, it has people a little bit up in the airs, and we've seen this on the market. All right. And that's one of the reasons that gold is doing a little bit better here, because when people have uncertainty, geopolitical uncertainty, gold tends to be one of those things that people will say, all right, gold is going to be safe no matter what happens. Let's jump in there. Silver not seeming to share the same fate. They're down 1.19. Oil's done pretty good today. But it is down. It's still down 0.33, but we did have a little bit of a resurgence. Well, towards the end of the day anyway. Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin, as I said, Bitcoin's had a great day. They keep pushing our little all-time high bar up. And I think it's reasonable. I think it's reasonable to see that 100K Bitcoin sooner than later. We're not that far away. Like, if I drag this down, where is it? Where's my bar? I put a bar in here. Oh, it's back here. Here we are. I need to bring it up. Let's bring it on up. All right, right here, 100K. There we go. Yeah, so that's not that far away. It's not that far. Matter of fact, once we settle above the 95, there's no real resistance to stop Bitcoin from going to 100K. Now, 100K, another big psychological level, we're going to get a bounce. We're probably going to get a really deep... I wouldn't be surprised if we got up to 100K and made it all the way back to 95. Because that will be a sell-off, because some people will be like, yeah, I'm taking my 100K Bitcoin. So, you will see a sell-off. Maybe it'll get back to 95. We'll have to see. We'll definitely see as, of course, we move on. Ethereum, not having a great day. They're actually in the hole, 1.08. So they're down a little bit. Looking at the heat map for Canada, you can see most sectors are not doing super well. We do have a few little winners. Rogers up 2.02%. Tourmaline is up a big 4.07%. So that's not too shabby at all. Metro is up 1%. Weston. So we got a few that are up. Oh, like Loblaws is up 1.37. Heading over to the US of A, a lot more red. And this is interesting. Nvidia right now is down 1.61%. So is that going to change, or is that a harbinger of what's going to come? We're gonna find out pretty soon, actually, because their earnings drops after the bell. All right, Eli Lilly, they are up 3.22%, so that's not too shabby. We also have United Health up as well, so that's also not too shabby. Looking at crypto, other than Bitcoin, everybody else has pretty much crapped the bed. Oh boy, a whole bunch of stinky sleepies today. There's about, quite literally, guys, there's about 14,000, actually, apparently it's 15,000 now, crap crypto coins out there. Coins you probably have never heard of. I like to just grab a random one. Here's one. Land Wolf. All right, here we go. We have a Land Wolf. And I think it's called, Wolf and Wolf USD. I don't know what this is. It kind of like, aren't all wolves kind of land wolves? I don't know. But yeah, they're worth about a fraction of a penny. They were at one point here. Look at this. They were almost 2 cents. But yeah, I don't know what they do. I don't know why you would want to invest in Land Wolf. It's another crap coin. Quite honestly, stay away from it. unless you have some high conviction that I don't have right now. Stick to your Bitcoins. Stick to your Bitcoin, your Ethereum. Today, perhaps just your Bitcoin or Cardano. Look at Cardano. They're up 9.45%. Holy banana bread. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right. Now, I want to show you guys something else here before I get to the chat. I see you guys building up there. Nvidia. Here they are. And you'll see I have a purple square. Well, most analysts are saying Nvidia is pretty much going to go up 8% or down 8%, and they don't know which. Well, this is down 8%. The top of the square is up 8%. So we're going to see which side wins. So even if Nvidia ends up here, but they touch down here first, then that side wins. The first side it hits wins this contest. I thought it would be fun. We'll watch, and we'll see who is going to win. Holy banana bread. This is going to be fantastic. All right. Let's, all right, give me a second here. Let me pull me back to main size once again. Whoops. That is the wrong, that is absolutely the wrong main size. Here we go. There we go. If those of you who are not normally on the weekend live stream, you're wondering, why the hell is there a beaver holding uranium? You got to be checking out those this week on the weekend, and we got a few zany things that happen there. So what can I say? All right. First in the house, Vic. First to say hi. Welcome, Vic. Came down to Edmonton to see Bruce Springsteen. Ooh, is the boss playing in Edmonton? Holy banana bread. That's pretty good. Now JJ is bullish on Nvidia. Let's go. Let's go, Nvidia. Paul. MicroStrategy high of 504.83. That's crazy. But yeah, while Bitcoin is climbing, MicroStrategy is climbing too. So, not too shabby. JJ said we'll be back in 20 minutes. All right, we'll count the minutes. We'll count the minutes. Vic said also in the red for CNR times 1,000, just over 149 a share. That's a really good buy-in spot. I like that. I like that. Let's see. Ricardo says good afternoon. Sadly, Nvidia a market mover day. Yeah, and this is why Nvidia is so important this time around. Whichever side wins, so whether it's the up or the down, it's going to have a major impact on tomorrow's market. So if Nvidia goes down, you can expect a deep red day tomorrow. If Nvidia goes up, you're going to have a deep green day tomorrow. It's as simple as that. I don't know if there's any possible way for it to be in between. I think it's either going to be an all or nothing type situation with this. But yeah, and let's see. I'm going to quickly check and see where you guys have voted at right now. So right now, 59% of you guys believe they are going to go up. Well, we got about 2 minutes. We got about 2 minutes to find out. Oh boy, this is kind of cool. All right. Prairie says, good afternoon all. Listening in as I work. And that means you probably can't whistle as you work at the same time, but that's fine. Ricardo says, who in the chat was talking about GFL? Did somebody mention GFL? I don't know if anybody... I don't remember seeing GFL until now. But maybe. Let's see. Well, to whoever was bullish on trash and saying it's where it's at, I took the advice and scooped me up 10 shares at 45.10 2 days ago. Okay. And what are they looking at like today, Ricardo? That's my question. Now, I will be drinking more than normal today because, you know, the flu. Oh, God, that's so good. Vic says, a Canadian oil and gas green and TSX 25,000. Nice. Let's see, waste management dipping. Funny Books is in the house with a hello, everyone. We got about 30 seconds before the bell. Let's see. Vic says waste... Excuse me. Waste is interesting, but trust me, driving their trucks, not fun. And I should be feeding the flu. Uh-oh. All right. We got about 18 seconds left. So I got the bell in my hand right here. So I am ready to go. Excuse me. Any of you guys who are, of course, listening to this on headphones, now's the time to maybe mute them or lower them a bit. All right. There we go. The bell has happened. Yeah. The market is now closed. Oh boy. This will be fun. All right, let's see. Ricardo says, well, I'm obviously not driving, but buying the stock. We got Mary in the house. Hello. That means, guys, it's time to hit that like button. I'm going to have a sip of coffee while you do that. Oh, boy. Very, very good. Jay says, I bought more HHL over the course of the week where it dipped below $7 per share, and I'm now 1,800 shares. I'm still undecided which stock to buy. Until then, I'll park it. Excuse me. I'll park it in cash ETF on my RBC account. There we go. There we go. I just had to mute for that one. Ruku says, happy Wednesday, everyone. Actually, let's... Excuse me. Oh, God. Okay, that was fun. That was, well, not really, but as fun as it was going to be. Let's get over to Nvidia. Let's see what's going on. Excuse me. All right. Excuse me. Oh, I know Jill is funny. Jill's like, you should cancel the show. You're going to be coughing too much. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. She was probably right, but that's fine. Already in post, we have a tiny bit of a movement up, but we don't have results yet, so. So you got to take that, oh God, with a grain of salt. All right, let's see here. Jay says, I'm still on the hunt for XRP ETF. If Global X will make them. Until then, I bought more HHL. I now have 1,800 shares taking advantage of the dip. I think I just read that one. That's fine. Enid is in the house. Good afternoon, everyone. We also have Vineet. Hi, all. Let's see. Ricardo says, Fidelity is pricing 10% for Nvidia. Ooh, that could be interesting. That could be interesting. See, Mario says, good afternoon. Oh, we got Niece in the house. New hey, all. Excuse me. Let's see, Ricardo says, the best thing about Sunday on Uranium is that it was on my daughter's birthday. Meanwhile, I and her account is holding heavy uranium. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm very bullish on uranium. Definitely bullish on uranium. Niece says, hey, all. Vic says, just got out of CNR with profit. It dipped to 147, so I can see weakness and buy back in on CP instead. Okay, fair enough. I'm still bullish on CNR. I'm bullish on both railroads, to be honest. William says, last time most YouTubers were predicting Nvidia would pop. Now they are careful. Yeah, a little bit. I will say, I have not made any plays this time around. I mean, I still have my Nvidia position in the challenge, but I didn't seek anything else in here because I was certain last time. I really thought it was going to go up, and and I think a lot of people in chat did, and it kind of kicked a whole bunch of us. So I'm just like, you know what? This time I'm an observer. I'm still hoping it goes up because that will be absolutely great for the market. And I won't even feel bad that I may have missed a potential windfall. But I'm hopeful. Kevin Cass says, good afternoon, everyone. Kenneth says, what happened to Nvidia? Well, right now we're at that point, right? We're still, we got Nvidia up here. We're sitting at 146.25. Guys, don't mind. We can leave this screen. I just have this parked here for now as we're watching things. If you guys have questions about different stocks and stuff, we can certainly head over to some of those. All right. Just give me a second here. I need. There we go. All right. I just wanted to turn on a little feature here. All right. Let's see here. Get better soon. I hope so. I think the fact that I got the flu on the way to getting the flu shot is like, it's actually funny. I'm not gonna lie. It's absolutely funny. I mean, yeah, I'm suffering, but come on. Is that not the funniest thing that you have ever seen? How are you playing Uranium? I haven't really started. Now, I did do some plays on Uranium earlier, more swing trades than anything else. But I am looking at I'm looking at trying to get something set up in one of my accounts because I really think we're going to see some movement on Uranium. There is so much pressure to get that energy, basically from everything from AI consuming so much energy, and plus, I think as well, I mentioned on the weekend, the U.S. by 2050, I think they want to have a whole bunch of more, nuclear power plants online. There's just an incredible amount that is happening in that sector. So, yeah, I definitely need to get a play in place. I don't have one yet, but that might be my goal. Like maybe I'll have one in the challenge for next month. I've already spent the money this month, but well, it depends. Like, oh, I did mention as well, guys, if we want a Friday show, we can certainly do that for supers. Those go into the challenge as well, guys. So, I don't know if that'll be enough for some uranium stock, but maybe, yeah, I don't know. All right, where are we at? Oh, right here. This is a good story. So Stephen Harper has been tapped to lead Amoco over there in Alberta, and apparently he's doing it for free. So that could be interesting. Very, very interesting for sure. Oh my God, look at this. There's already a super. Kiev and Kaz. All right, let's throw this down. I didn't even notice that. Oh, there we are. Yeah, so it's a character handing over. Oh, cup of coffee. Yes, I need this. Oh, this is so good. And of course, this means that Kiev and Kaz is the GOAT. So Kiev and Kaz is our GOAT. Gotta love it. All right. I did notice right now over here in the post, we're now a little below, but don't worry. We'll know when that data starts coming in because I'll tell you, this will start to move big one way or the other. So right now, we're just sort of meandering around as people are kind of waiting. For sure. All right, let's remove the GOAT that way there. If we get some more, the GOAT will be ready. Here we go. Invisible GOAT. I'm the invisible GOAT. Incredible as you can. Feed me grass. I don't know. I'm just, I was starting to sing like, the Invisible Man from Queen. Then I was doing it. I'm like, oh, I better bail on this fast because I don't know what it takes to get a copyright strike. I don't want to get one. So anyway, yeah, that's fun. All right. Let's see. Ricardo says, I have UEC, DNN, UROY, BWXT, and UROY again. Okay, it's like UROY in stereo. Let's see. Is there an ETF for uranium? I'm pretty sure there is. I'd have to look into it a little bit further, but yeah, I think there is. I'm pretty sure. Here we are. Well, yeah, right here. So URA is a ETF. SRUUF is a commodity fund. So URX is a 2x leverage ETF. There we go. Let's see here. Nvidia, according to Paul, was down 1.11% on the day, was 0.25% up after hours, now going down. Yeah, it's going to move around a little bit. We'll know soon enough. Soon enough, we're going to start to get a big movement in one direction or the other. Rocco says Google is the buy of the day to rebound tomorrow. Yeah, I like Google. I mean, I I like all of the tech stocks, and quite honestly, if we get to that point that Nvidia goes flying up to our up towards the top of our box, we could have a very strong day on the market tomorrow. And I think if you own any tech stocks, you're probably going to benefit from that. Nvidia is pretty much the big driver of the week right now, so we gotta see where that's all going to end up. Prairie says, held my CDR position in Nvidia from last earnings, hoping to cash out if it soars. Nothing wrong with that. JJ is back. Welcome back. Welcome back. You should drink a lot of lemon honey tea today. I don't know about that. I'm gonna stick with my coffee right here. And if this runs out before the stream does, I'll grab a water or something. But I'm hoping it doesn't. It seems the coughing seems to come in fits. So right now I'm currently good. All right. Kenneth says, what about uranium ETF and the TSX? That's interesting. And Ricardo is an American, so but I'm pretty sure, I know there's a royalty one up on the TSX. I am going to be doing a video. It's probably, I don't know if it'll happen December. It might happen December, actually. But I'm going to do nuclear profits. That's what it's going to be called. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to dig it through the TSX and see what I can find. But I'm pretty sure that there's some pretty good stuff up there. So we'll bring it all in for you. Kevin Cat says, what JJ said. Y Video says, no more Starbucks mug. I saw a Yeti. I know. Basically, Jill decided that I needed a bigger mug because I always keep running out of coffee towards the end of the stream. So, and plus this one keeps it warmer a little bit longer too. So, yeah, I like my Starbucks mug, but this one, it has some functionality. You're right. It is a Yeti. It's a Yeti. Which is actually funny. The microphone I'm using right now is also a Yeti. So it's like we got a lot of Yeti stuff. Different companies though. JJ says, let me take over. I can just go to sleep. I can just go to sleep and JJ can explain what's going on with Nvidia. There we go. Let's see. Mehdi says, hurrah. There we go. Let's see. Margin accounts for Wealthsimple for beta has been released today. Nice. Kevin Cass says, cool. I'm on a wait list for Wealthsimple margin. Well, maybe you'll see it sooner than later. Alberto says, drink a bottle of Kogan. Oh, dear. Yeah, that would be fun. I don't drink, but if you want to see me drink, back at when we hit 1,000 subs, I did a drinking stream. So, of course, being somebody who doesn't drink, like I used to drink when I was younger, but being somebody who doesn't drink, it didn't take much. It didn't take much for me to get a little bit on that tipsy side. So, probably a very amusing stream, but we did that. We do a celebration stream at every big milestone. So, at 2,000, we did the Hot Ones challenge. Oh, that was fun. At 3,000, I did a parody news video. At 4,000, we did a full, a really long stream, open to close. So that was pretty cool. 5,000 is coming up. And right now, what we're tentatively doing, this is not yet 100% ironed out, but we're looking at maybe doing a quiz stream. So it'd be like, where I would ask questions, simple questions, simple finance, like really simple. And then whoever answers first in chat would get a point, and whoever has the most points at the end of the stream would win a prize. And that's what we're looking at right now. I kind of like the idea. I can get my Alex Trebek on, so that would be kind of cool. JJ says at 6,000 subs, a complete intoxication. I don't think so. So after the 5,000, we're probably no longer going to do it in the thousands because they're happening faster than ever. So we're probably going to go from 5,000 to, I would imagine, maybe 7,500. So 7,500, maybe we'll do one, and then 10,000 for sure. So that would be kind of cool. JJ says we're 180 subs away from 5,000. Yes. Now, yeah, the video we released yesterday definitely certainly helped. I think it's brought in about 50 subs in total. But yeah, and that's the thing. When a video really connects, it brings in a lot of subs. So that's not a bad thing at all. So yeah, it will definitely be here in. I would be shocked if we didn't hit the 5,000 in December. I would actually be very shocked. I'm kind of thinking. I'm thinking that we're probably looking around the middle of December when this would happen. So probably I don't know if it would be on the 15th per se, but I think we'll hit that. I think we'll hit it probably close to the 15th. We'll probably hit it. So I got a little bit of time to figure it out, but not a lot. And I gotta say too, this is a perfect time to get the flu, only because I would not have wanted to gotten the flu in December because we got so much going on. We've got financial Blogmas. So that's where I'm going to do a short little video or live stream. Probably most of them will be live streams every day from the 1st to the 24th. That's kind of the Blogmas part of it, but I'm going to put a financial spin on it. So, I'll have a topic or something. Think of Great White North, but with financial topics. Something to that kind. It's not like I'm going to have somebody sitting here and we're not going to be calling each other hose heads or anything like that. But I'm just thinking lengthwise. So something in that nature. But you guys know me. I can easily go off on a tangent and it can be like 2 hours later. I mean, it's what can you say? Let's see. Jay says, the Sahara Desert had snow first, then Winnipeg. What a world we are living in. Yeah. Well, right now they've got that whole bomb thing, that bomb cyclone or cyclone bomb off of the West Coast, and that is just absolutely causing chaos. We're talking from California to Vancouver. Well, even higher, even further up than Vancouver. Let's just say the BC coast. That thing is swirling offshore, and it seems to be stuck there. So it's probably going to be there for another couple of days. So a lot of wind. There's going to be a lot of wind and probably precipitation in the mountains, snow. So it's going to be really interesting the next couple of days. So hopefully, if you are living on the West Coast, hopefully you don't lose your power. That's what I'm hoping. Or if you have lost your power, you're watching this in the rerun, I'm so sorry it happened. I'm glad your power's back. But, what can I say? All right, let's see here. Let's see. Video says, today I bought some Exo Technology, XTC. It looks pretty cheap, but I hope it's not a value trap. Interesting. All right. Am I coming on? You can come on if you want. It saves on my voice, that's for sure. All right. So far, we still have no movement. We still have no movement over here. What are we gonna do? But what we can do is let's take our final look at the market and see where we finished. The TSX finished in the green. Holy banana bread. Guys, this is not good. I have the red light up. I have never had to do this before. But let's see if we can do it. All right. Don't look at the screen while I'm trying to find green. Because I don't want anybody to get, flashing. All right, there we go. There's blue. Oh, there's green. There we go. Yeah, the TSX managed to get back in the green in the last minute. Look at this. This is fantastic. Finished 0.1 up. S&P 500 finished dead even at 0. NASDAQ finished not that far down, 0.08 down. Dow Jones finished in the green. They were in the green already, so that was fantastic. Gold up 0.67. Silver currently down 1.05. Bitcoin still doing good, up 2.03%. Did we get a No, we didn't get a new all-time high, but they're probably going to move sideways for a little bit. But if something happens to Nvidia, it'd be interesting to see if it has any impact at all on Bitcoin. Ethereum down 1.08. All right. And looking once again at our map, our heat map. Whoops. Let's go back down. Let's actually get rid of the big losers. Let's look at the winners here. Constellation Software, Loblaws, Weston, Metro, Torlamine, as we mentioned before. National Bank seemed to have done the best in the banks. Look at that, up 1.17. Fairfax Financial, we just did a deep dive on them. They're up 1.44%. So that's awesome. Woohoo! All right, I'm liking these. These are good. These are some good numbers. Nutrium up as well. All right, heading over here to the U.S. Got a lot of red in tech, and maybe they'll be deep in red tomorrow morning, depending on what these earnings are going to look like. But let's get rid of the losers. And as you can see over here, we got Walmart up a bit, United Health doing pretty good, up 4.07, Meta up, Oracle up, Netflix up 1.44, not bad. Eli Lilly is doing that too. Perfect, love it. All right, and then of course crypto. I'm just really surprised with Bitcoin doing so well that everybody else is kind of lagging here. They're lagging a little bit. Other than Cardano, what is this? Leo USD. I don't know what that is. All right, XLM. Okay, we got a few interesting ones, but Bitcoin for the most part, it's their day. They're doing fantastic. What can I say? All right, let's head back to the show, and we got Nvidia here. Uh-oh. And I'm going to actually shrink this down so we can see both ends. All right, this is not good. We're down, but we're not out yet. But we are down. Oh boy. And let's see. I'm just curious here. So the final, I'm going to end the poll. It did go 57% thought it was going to go up. Holy banana breads. But it didn't. And I just noticed. Here we go. We got another goat. So Funny Books is in with a $1.99 super sticker, which is awesome. Thank you so much. So we're 2 away from a Friday show. And by Friday, I'm sure I'll be feeling a lot better. I've had this for a couple of days, so I'm pretty sure I'm on the mend. I better be. That's for sure. Okay, let me just see here. I'm going to get. Oh, here we go. I'm going to get caught up here. VLG says I'm in Victoria, and so far we haven't lost power, but many have. Oh dear. Yeah. I hope you knocked on wood. I hope you knocked on wood when you said that. Paul says, I'm on the West Coast. Plug your phone in. Just did at 24%. 5-year-old Samsung Note 10 Plus. How old is too old for a phone? Honestly, if your phone still meets your needs, it's not too old. It's when your phone no longer meets your needs, or you've dropped it and you're sick of looking through all the cracks, or your battery can't hold a charge. Those are the times to upgrade. But don't upgrade for the sake of upgrading. That's a good way to just lose money. Right now I'm using an iPhone 11 and it's still meeting my needs. It's in fantastic shape. I mean, I'd love to have a new iPhone, but I can't justify it. Not until this one starts to crap out, and it has not yet. JJ says, Note 10 Plus is a great phone. See, I had it before. I upgraded to the S22 Ultra about 2 years ago. All right, VLG. Yes, I have plugged in a few portable chargers too. Fun. Let's see, for Nvidia and Eli Lilly. What the heck is that? For some reason, I am in the chat, and I'm like, I don't know why. Okay. Oh, it's because that was my action. I closed the poll. I was wondering, what is that? Matt says, you are the best. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's right. I will, I'm like the mail service, other than I don't go on strike. So, yeah, come rain or snow, flu or not, I will be here for the most part. I imagine if I could absolutely not talk, well, that would be different. That has happened. That has happened. But not this time. Not this time. All right, let's take a gander and see what we're doing. Look at this. It's almost back again. Holy banana bread. And we don't yet have any data yet. All right, so we're going to have to see. JJ says, I'll come on in about 2 minutes. Sure. And you can use that same link I gave you because it never expires. That's one of the things I do like about Ecamm Live. All right, let's get another sip of coffee. See if we can get the gravel out. Now, believe it or not, guys, I filmed a video this morning, so it actually didn't turn out as bad as I was expecting. It didn't turn out as bad as I was expecting. You can certainly hear the flu in there, but yeah, so we're all on a schedule, so nothing wrong with that. Yeah, absolutely. All right. I gotta save it. And then Paul. Holy banana bread. Here comes Paul. Whoops. Put it in here. We got a new goat. Let's get that goat going in there. With a $4 super sticker. Holy banana bread. So we're one away from a Friday show. It's looking very likely. Yeah, that's fantastic. We'll see how this week ends up. Right now, we are still sitting here with a 143, but we're under right now. So let's see what happens. I don't know. I can't wait. Let's see. Ricardo says, what is everyone thinking now that Nvidia showed the hands? Well, what hands? We're all here. We haven't seen them yet. We got Reverend Ramirez in the house with a happy face. Always good to see you, Reverend. Always good to see you, for sure. Let me just see if I have any news here yet. Earnings report due after. Yes, we got that. So we still don't have anything definitive yet. Now, if you're, of course, listening in on that call, you may have an idea of what's about to happen on the market. We're going to find out soon enough. Once the data starts filtering into the system, we'll see this where it says post. That's either going to come down to here or go up to there. Well, according to analysts. So we will see if this whole 8% thing is right. We have to take a look. Larry is in the house with a long on SOXL 3X chip bull ETF. What's the news? I know, we're still waiting. We're still waiting on some news. Let's see. Nvidia dropped already in the US. It has dropped a little bit. Yeah, it's right now sitting at 142.63 in after hours trading. But we still don't have our big movements. We don't have any data yet. But I am expecting things to break soon. And according to William, that they did top expectations. But keep in mind, last time they topped expectations, but they still ended up going into the dumper. So let's see what happens this time. We are seeing some movement. We are seeing a little bit of movement there. So I'm hoping to see this move up. Definitely. All right, I'm going to remove the goat because we still have one more to go. So I need to have the goat ready. All right, let's see here. All right, Mary wants to know, what's everyone buying tomorrow if we have a big market drop? So there we go. What are we expecting? I don't think I have anything in particular, but it really comes down to what? Like I've spent, like for the challenge, the only money I have is the money I pick up here in Super Chats today, because I have spent all of that budgeted money for the challenge. So nothing, I might average down on something. Now, I know Paul is like bugging me, like, buy one share of MicroStrategy, please. I really would love to. I really would love to. I mean, the problem is, MicroStrategy, one share is like, what, $500 now? That would pretty much eat up the month. And then I would just basically have the supers that come in for that month to add to it. But it is tempting. There might be a MicroStrategy play, though. There might be one that I can make that's not as expensive. So we'll have to see. Let's see. Ricardo says, no, in the USA, the earnings 10Q is already filed. And let's see. Nvidia is showing a Cisco 1999 top of the mountain drop kind of vibes. Maybe in showing my age by saying that. Oh, dear. Yeah. Jungle Eddie said, I almost bought 10,000 Nvidia for the earnings report, but talked myself out of it. That's a good thing. That is probably a really good thing, Jungle. Because, I mean, look at it right now. We're kind of sitting at 140. So I was not going to make that play. Not going to make that play. Ricardo says, save you some money. Absolutely. All right, guys, we do have a Friday show. Here comes Tim in to bring it all home with the fourth super of the show. And we get the goat back. And the goat can stay now. The goat can stay. We're all good. Thank you very much, Tim. Really appreciate it. All right, Larry says, if all that's happening is a 3.5 drop, this is a nothing burger. Yeah. So far we got a nothing burger happening. That's definitely very, very, very interesting. And I'm just taking a look to see if anything else has happened here. No, I mean, Bitcoin is still sort of doing its thing. Okay. Interesting. But what is everybody else doing in after hours? Let's take a look at Tesla. All right, come on, Tesla. Tesla, not much. They're a little bit down right now. All right, let's go to our other ones here. Where the heck are they? They're down here somewhere. Here's Amazon. All right, so Amazon, same kind of thing. They're down a little bit. Here's MicroStrategy. Oh, yeah, look at MicroStrategy. They peaked up there at 504. But I'm not too worried about MicroStrategy. Here's Meta. Once again, down a little bit, kind of like what was expecting, right? Microsoft is up a little. So that's not too shabby. And here's Google. Google is also up a little bit right now. So, all right, that's not too shabby. Let's get back to Nvidia here. There we go. And yeah, they are hanging down here a little bit. We'll have to see how things go. Right now, it's not exciting. I wanted to see a massive movement in either direction. That would be a lot more fun than just sort of going down a little bit and just hanging there. But what can we say? All right. Yeah, exactly. Well, right now they're at 142. Let's see. Pawn got smacked down. Let's take a look at Pawn in here. I do not know. I don't have Pawn. I'm not sure what Pawn is. All right. It's not coming up here in my ad symbol, so you may have to expand and let me know what Pawn is, because I haven't really touched on Pawn. William says, let's see, yet Shopify made sense and went up 30%. Yeah, sometimes it's not even about the earnings numbers. Sometimes there's other stuff going on. I have seen situations where a company actually missed earnings, but the information in their in their report was enough to drive the price up, because it was enough to get excitement. I think Tesla actually did that once, where they announced some new models and some price cuts, and people got all excited about that, opposed to their actual earnings. Okay. Oh, Palo Alto Network. Okay, fair enough. Wait a minute. Larry said, picked up 5,000 shares of Kraft Heinz on this cheese lawsuit. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So PANW. Okay. There we go. All right. That probably makes a lot more. That makes a lot more sense. I was like, what is this pawn? What is this pawn? All right, let's come in here. PANW. Here we go. Palo Alto Networks. Bang. Let's drop it in. Let's go check out and see what they're doing. All right. All right. Oh, look at this. Yeah, they fought. Look at this, 370 from 392. And you'll notice with their earnings, they did beat expectations. Their revenue beat expectations. But look at this. They're doing what, well, actually, Nvidia didn't go this far, but there's something in that earnings report definitely upset some folks. Let me see if there's any news here. Yeah, there's really nothing here to tell me why. But there's something in that report that investors did not like. So, wow, that's a big drop. That's a big drop on a green earnings call. But what can you do? Bismarcky says Target was not on target today. Yeah. Oh boy. And Ricardo says the funny thing about Target is that I sat on the call and they blamed the miss on earnings on themselves, not the consumer. Well, got to give them respect for that. All right. Holy banana bread. Reverend says, is it related to the overheating issue with their chips? I've heard a couple of comments about the overheating. One of them is that technically it's not really their issue. The overheating is with how some people are running the chips. But, I mean, nonetheless, these type of things still get blamed on the manufacturer nonetheless. So maybe. But, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. As more news gets out, of course. Right now, I'm just glad that everybody seems to have been a little bit more cautious this time around. Because, we're not getting anything really good here. And it's looking like we're going to probably have a red market tomorrow from these early, unless something drastic happens here. Here we are, we're sitting down. Now it was more moderate. Like, it was not the all or nothing that a lot of economists were thinking, saying, oh, they're either going up or down 8%. Well, it's hard to say. We still, of course, have, we still have the rest of after hours tonight. There's also the hours in the morning as well, like, pre-market hours. Because, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. But by then, in the morning, we'll have all the information. I'm just right now at this point, I'm just like, dear God, are the days of Nvidia just exploding after earnings? Are those over? Will we not see those anymore? That's kind of that thing. Let's see. Reverend says, I don't see their guidance. Blackwell chips got delayed to Q4. That could be an issue. That could definitely be an issue right there. That's a point that will make investors not so much happy. The other thing too is you have to look at a lot of the big chip manufacturers. They're getting to the point where their chips are ready to start coming out. That is going to impact. It's going to impact them a little. Like, it really shouldn't, because there's more than enough. There's more than enough demand for Nvidia, as well as, whether Amazon makes their own chip or Microsoft makes their own chip. There's room. I think there's room for everyone to play nicely. But, people are like, I think part of it too is like the whole rumor mill was that you had about 7 years. Like, you had to, Nvidia was like, oh, their software is about 7 years ahead of everybody else. So there's no way anybody's going to touch them soon. But here we're starting to see. Now, mind you, we need to see some of these new chips in action. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're not going to work as well. That would be a big plus for Nvidia for sure, if that's a situation. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Let's see here. Paul says another $4 plus dividend for MSTY, my position is up 89%. Oh, nice. Yeah, gotta love MicroStrategy, that's for sure. Let's see, revenue guidance. Where are we at here? Revenue guidance lower for 2025 as well. Revenued. Okay. Snowbeat earnings, and they are up $17. Say, I wonder if AMD has more upside potential on the heels of Nvidia. All right, we're gonna bring in. We'll bring JJ in here. Let's get him in. Let's assign him to guest one. There we go. Oh, and I probably have to go to something where he can be seen. Just give me a second here. Okay. There we go. There we go. Hello, JJ. Welcome to the stream.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. And I can hear you. And I can hear you.
That's great.
Oh, but now look at this. It went and did this weird, funky thing to my screen. Holy banana bread. All right, give me a second. I need to fix that.
Yeah, I can see it now. Like there's white parts on the top and bottom of the screen.
Yeah, it decided to do its own little thing here. All right, just give me a second here. I'll fix it.
Mhm.
I don't know why it's doing this weird thing, but we'll fix it. Here we go. Let's see here. All right, I want it set to. All right. There we go. There we go. It is working. It is working. We have got it all going perfectly now. All right, let's pull that back in. All right. Let's see. Larry says Bayer is becoming a huge buy for me. 20 billion market cap, makes 50 to 60 billion a year. 42 billion in debt, 125 billion in assets. Gotta like that. Everyone is dropping it because of lawsuits, and they dropped the dividend to pay debt, which I like. Yeah, I'm actually okay with that when a company does that. I know a lot of investors sort of like say, "Oh, they cut their dividend. I'm running," but sometimes it makes a lot of good sense for that to happen. Bayer the medicine, yeah, Bayer. I think Bayer aspirin is one of their products, so. Yeah, and there we go. Bayer the medicine, Monsanto owner. Let's see. PANW needs to add Bitcoin to their treasury. Yeah, yeah. Um, I bet you there's a lot of companies right now that have been watching Bitcoin in the last year and are like, why didn't we put them in our treasury? Why didn't we? What do you think there, JJ?
I think it's a really good idea. You like should have been added. Being the fact that this is such a stable company, like adding to the treasures list would be, I think, would be a very smart move. Maybe, maybe it's the fact that the timeline consistency is not long enough. Maybe that's why they didn't add it. But
Mm-hmm.
could be the fact that maybe it has to be reevaluated again next year. Maybe that
Yeah.
like if it's maybe it's the long term consistency that needs to be seen first. Then I suppose they could be added. Maybe what do you think? Are your reasoning along the same lines more or less?
Well, I mean, I'm thinking like what a lot of companies are doing is they're looking for regulation.
Oh yeah,
They're
for sure.
looking to see, they don't want to sort of jump into the wild west. Now, I think
Hmm.
with the SEC approved the spot Bitcoin ETFs, it's not regulation per se, but it's a
No.
step in that direction. And I think that certainly helped things. But now with the new government coming in, that's looking to be very pro Bitcoin.
Oh
I
yeah.
I imagine we will see regulation or de facto regulation, especially if the government starts putting Bitcoin on their treasury. That's a game changer.
Can you imagine they add MicroStrategy to their treasury list in the future?
Hmm.
That would be hilarious. Would you think that would be possible in a very de facto government?
It's gonna be hard to say. Like
Like
I
maybe
listen
okay,
to, I
obviously
mean, I
not
listen to
now,
all of
given
the
the fact that
things.
MicroStrategy is so volatile, but maybe in like 5 to 10 years, like
Well, they're
in the
volatile,
later
but
future.
that's because Bitcoin is volatile.
Yeah.
And I think as Bitcoin becomes more institutionalized, that's going to really start to knock out a lot of that volatility. I mean, it'll still
Hmm.
have volatility, but the days where you can have like go from like 60,000 to 30,000 in like a couple of days, I don't think that. I think those days are starting to get behind us. And I think when we do have, like when we move into the next crypto winter, and I'm kind of thinking that's going to happen later in 2025. I could be wrong. I'd love to see it to continue to go up. But I think we're not going to have a situation where um, it's going to go crazy, crazy down. I think it will go down. I think it will be some pretty deep red candles. But I don't think we'll ever go back down to 20,000 again. Like, I think those days are over. Um, I think, I actually think in the next crypto winter, the bottom might be maybe 50,000, maybe even 60,000. I just don't see
Hmm.
us getting down to anything lower than that. Not with the amount of. You have to look at a couple of factors here. One, you have to look at the institutional investment that's already begun. You also have to look at the supply shock. You've got a situation where there's just not a lot of Bitcoin in the exchanges. So
Hmm.
between the
Yeah.
supply shock, the increased institutional investment through the spot Bitcoin ETFs, that's it's just not going to create that situation where you could actually cut that market cap down to a crazy amount for you to go back down to say 20,000. That to me that's unreasonable. And you can even look at, and this is the thing, we got a history. We got a long history of Bitcoin. You can look at previous bull runs and how far they went down, and you'll see that there's a significant increase in the bottoms between each bull run. So, I think this is going to be a pretty good bull run. And I think, I mean, I'm guessing, personally, I'm thinking we're going to get to 120. That's where I think. I know there's a lot of people on YouTube that sort of think it's going to go much higher than that. But,
Skyrocketing to 200,000. Let's go.
I mean, I could be wrong. I'd be happy to be wrong. But my gut says 120 is probably a reasonable amount before we move into crypto winter, and that's going to come sooner than I would say sooner than the end of next year. So probably, like I don't think Q1, but I could see it coming by the summer. I could see that with Bitcoin, but maybe I'll be completely wrong and it'll just keep going. It never does. It hasn't in the past. It always finds its equilibrium. It always does that retracement. And you also have to play all of the psychological levels, the way people think. Like
Hmm.
as I was mentioning, like when it hits that 100,000, we're going to get a big retrace because,
Oh yeah.
it's a
Everybody's pulling profits
psychological
at that
thing.
point.
And normally the way it will work too, and if you've looked at Bitcoin, you'll notice that when it hits these psychological levels, you get your first little bounce down. It goes up, you might get a second bounce down, but then it has to sort of settle above that before it's ready to move up to the next psychological level. And then the whole process repeats over and over again. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be very, very interesting.
I mean, if it happens in the third quartile, maybe it should be renamed instead of crypto winter. It should be named like crypto spring slash summer slash fall at this point.
Well, I don't know
Oh,
so
I'm
much about that.
sorry.
You know, I I would prefer to just call it a crypto bear market. Let's just normalize it to the rest of the market. That would be to me that
Nah,
would be
that's too
good.
fear mongering. Crypto winter sounds better. It's
It probably
more
does.
ominous.
It does. It does. Maybe. um, a reverend is saying hi. Are you at work?
Yes, I am.
Ah.
I work in infectious disease research, so right now it's just like a in between break period. So this is the perfect time to basically join the live and
Hmm.
hang out with everybody while there's like some samples incubating in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Now William is saying, I am not sure we will have an end of year rally. The situation seems to be getting from bad to worse in Eastern Europe. Yeah, it does. But you got to keep one thing in mind. When you look at what the U.S. is doing right now, So with the long range, now with landmines, you have to know that I think in Putin's mind, he is thinking about, well, okay, we have somebody coming into office who I can work with in January. So he has to be taking that into consideration, I would think. I would think, because I don't think he's a, you can say whatever you want about him. I don't think he's stupid. So I think he is probably taking that into consideration. And if anything, I think a lot of what you're seeing right now between what Ukraine is doing, what Russia is doing, is putting themselves into a better position for when negotiations do start. I think all players involved want peace in 2025. I think we will get it. But here's the thing. So, Trump says he's going to do it in one day. I don't know if it's that simple. I don't think it's that simple. But if everybody does come to the table, Ukraine is going to have to be looking and say, okay, well, if we're still holding some of this Russian territory, we can trade that to get some of our territory back. So that's one of the options that, they're thinking about. But, what can I say? That's just kind of where that situation is going to be. And so when we're looking at things deteriorating, yeah, there's a little bit, but I don't think there's much more deterioration we're going to get. Like, I don't think we're going to get to a situation like where the nuclear saber rattling will go beyond that. If it does, well, we got bigger problems to worry about than the market, to be honest. But I don't think we have to worry about it too much, William. I think it's going to be safe, and I'm still pretty bullish. I hope I'm right. But always have a contingency plan, even at any time as an investor. You want to have a plan for what are you going to do if things continue to be bullish. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do if things don't? What if it goes, what if it goes bearish? What if we have a black swan event? Those are all of those things that you definitely have to keep in mind. All right.
Well, I would say in if you are properly diversified in different sectors, that even with those quote unquote black swan events, they would impact you less, because it also always depends on which sector you are heavily invested in, but also depends on your emotion. So when there's very high volatility and where everything is basically redlining, do not pull that trigger. As you always say, have those diamond hands. For sure. Yeah. Do not.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? If something like, especially with a black swan event, if it drops the whole market, it's not going to go to zero. The whole market's not going to zero. It will rebound. It will always come back. Even if you take the absolute worst situation we ever had, which is the Great Depression, if you were able to hold everything after the entire market crashed as badly as it did, if you were able to hold it long enough, in that case, there 10 years pretty much, but you would have been fine on the other end.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem. People, though, will absolutely panic. And once they start panicking, that's when you start to make bad decisions. When all of a sudden you're like, oh, I lost half my money. Oh, well, better just take it out of the bank before I lose the next half. And it's a shame when that happens.
When you have that happen, you just realize all those losses and everything you put into it before, you've just lost it in a heartbeat.
Exactly. So, and look at the worst case, one of the worst in history. And I say the worst, not because of how far it dropped, but the pandemic. When everything dropped like crazy in March of 2020.
It was not that bad.
Gave into panic at that point. Not only did they realize their losses, they got slapped in the face that we went straight into a bull market after that. And they would have recouped their money pretty darn fast if they would have just held on for a little bit. Just a little bit. But what can I say? Let's see. Vic says...
You live and learn, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Vic says Wealthsimple has after hours trading, but not for Canadian stocks. Yeah, it's for the U.S. stocks.
Yeah, it's only for the U.S. market because they have they have the largest options trading market. Mm-hmm. So that's also the reason why it's pretty much limited to the U.S. In terms of Canadian options, is there even options? I'm not even familiar if there even is like a very liquid option market in Canada, as far as I know, and it's mostly definitely in the U.S. Like, do you know anything about that?
I don't know a lot about options, about at least the markets per se. I know the
Yeah,
theory of options, but I haven't really done a lot of options trading per se. But
that's
that's.
that's the next that's the next best thing. That's the next hottest thing to basically pull in,
Mm-hmm.
like show those daily option tradings lives that everybody can tune into.
Oh
And
yeah.
I've always hear like some other traders where they would make bots, like an auto bot, like an auto trading bot, where you have like the live viewers control your trades, and it can
A
get
lot of the
pretty hectic.
institutional investors have bots that do a lot of stuff for them.
Hmm.
So it is getting to that point that it will be hard to be trading as a person,
Oh
at
yeah.
least trading. Now, investing, it'll be fine because if you're a long term investor, you don't have to worry about any of these trends. You just dollar cost average for the win and hold on, and you're good. But when it comes to like day trading, swing trading, the bots are gonna definitely rule that roost as we get further. All right, now let's see here. Paul says Michael Saylor is speaking to Microsoft's board next week about Bitcoin and the company's treasury. That's another company. I've heard that Microsoft is seriously considering adding
Hmm.
Bitcoin. That could be interesting. And let's see, MicroStrategy volatility is there, but on the last 3 months, 144% on the RRSP.
MicroStrategy has been such a tear the last 3 months. It's just gonna
Mm-hmm.
keep going. It's ridiculous. I
Well, I mean,
know. I've
basically,
only I've added a little bit in my TFSA, and it's gone up like 200%. It's like
mm-hmm.
ridiculous.
Yeah, no, but basically, if you think about it, I mean, Michael Saylor spent years going around telling people buy
Hmm.
Bitcoin. This is what it's going to
Hmm.
happen. This is what's going to happen. Now he's
Hmm.
basically going around saying, "See, I told you so. See, I told you so." And he's gotten a lot of respect now because I remember even 3 years ago when he started a lot of this. I remember a lot of YouTubers were like just crucifying him, like he is, you know, probably the best example I heard one YouTuber say he's either a complete idiot or a massive genius, but only time is going to tell us that.
And right now, it seems like it's leaning towards the latter.
Yeah, he's done.
But then again,
No,
the
he
future
has.
is still unknown, so it can always swing towards another way,
Yeah,
or some other crypto could be the next best thing. We don't know.
yeah, exactly. Oh boy, Bells, Rogers, and Telus.
Hmm.
That is a sector that is hurting.
Have you been buying into it so far, or are you letting
Well,
it
I do
ride
have I
out?
have I have a position in the challenge on Bell. Um, like I can't see them going much lower. I really can't. So I'll add more. I'll add more as long as they're under my adjusted cost base. I'll add more each month. But yeah, I do. I mean, I see them eventually recovering. But I think one of the things that they're going to have to start looking at themselves is I think they need to probably overtool the whole system.
Oh,
Like look at how they do business. Look at how they make money. Now you've got things like Bell, for example, expanding into the U.S. market. Great. You've
that's
got
a very
Telus
smart
with
move.
their Telus Health. Great. I don't know what Rogers is doing. Well, technically, Rogers is into sports, so there's a lot of that. So they each have their own little thing, but I think they really need to find a way to maybe bring their costs down. One thing I think all three of them should do is get rid of all their call centers. Bring it,
Yeah,
let AI do it all.
robocallers, man. Come on,
Yeah,
that's already been implemented in so many
and
places.
that's the thing. I mean, because I know that they all spend an incredible amount of money on call centers, and there's no need.
Aren't
Just get
they
your
aren't they called like cost centers technically,
yeah. That's
right?
what you technically call a call center because you lose money with them. You don't make money with your call centers.
Mm-mm.
Even with Rogers and their aggressive selling, they're still losing money.
Hmm.
So that's the thing. You get AI in there doing all of that.
If you look at their income statements, like just these cost centers pretty much take up. like anywhere between 20 to 30% of their cash flow, which is
Mm-hmm.
like negatively impacting everything.
Yeah, no,
Something along those
absolutely.
lines.
This is great. Yeah, Larry says after losing $23,000 in options, I figured out I'm not good at it. That's
Ouch, Larry. What were you trading? Like super high volatility meme stocks or like something more established? Because that also depends on it also depends on if you're naked, if you're doing like naked options or if you're actually hedging your bets. Because if you're not hedging, then you
Mhm.
if something goes wrong, there's like huge high leverage that you will lose a lot more than what you bet into.
Well, there's that. But here's the other thing too. Um,
You gotta be smart basically with what you're doing.
yeah, and options is not going to be for everyone. So if it's I mean, Larry's doing great on what Larry does. But
Hmm.
if options is just
Stock
not
picking.
working, then yeah, you don't have to do options. That's the beautiful thing.
Can you imagine? Because options is already a form of margin trading, but then I see some people who are basically doing margin on options, which
Hmm.
is like double or like triple or 5x.
Uh huh.
5x, it's
Well,
like,
that's the
it's
thing.
pretty insane.
And I'm
Like, you're gambling with way too much, especially if you're going to if you're going to be option calling on super high volatility like micro cap stocks, say for
Mhm.
example. Like that's not a smart thing to do.
No, I mean, and this is the other thing too is I look at something like Wealth Simple, and they're bringing in that margin. I'm just hoping that they make it not super easy to get, to be honest, because
From what I can tell, because I was added to that waitlist and I got the email today. From the email that I skimmed through, it seems pretty easy to open an account with, but they are capping the limit on what you can. So they're basically limiting. So you cannot do margin trades on options yet. So it's
mm-hmm,
mostly on just on regular stocks on both the U.S. and Canadian market. So at least there's that. So it's more controlled in a sense. But I believe they will be bringing options on that
mm-hmm,
in the near future. But they're still testing out the
yeah,
waters.
yeah, exactly. No, what I was just mentioning is that with the margin, I'm just hoping that they're being
Well,
a little bit more picky. Like for example, like not letting somebody in who has like a really horrible credit rating, for example, because this is something that can just absolutely wreck you.
oh yeah,
And it's something I always worry a little bit about it, like especially if you have a lot of new do-it-yourself investors who are like
there's a lot. There's a huge
they're still in
flow
the
of
learning phase in some cases, and it's like, oh, look at this margin, let's go play with that. It's like, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I just hope they have a really tight in screening process for what kind
Hmm.
of collateral they have against
Yeah.
and how secured that would be. Otherwise, if it's not controlled, if the collateral is not controlled properly, everything can fall apart like in a
Hmm.
matter of like minutes.
Well, yeah, exactly. All right. Oh, we got this whole thing here. Reverend said, wall of worry is so real. Whenever I get scared, I dump into money market funds. Yeah, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, and I mentioned this before, I think on the weekend.
Easy and
You
simple.
take Warren Buffett. People are always going on, oh my God, he's adding more money to his cash position. Well, here's the
Just
thing:
adding cash.
if you're in a bull market, that's the time to be adding to your cash position. And that way,
Mhm.
if you're someone like Warren Buffett, he's adding to that cash position because eventually we're going to go into a bear market. Maybe not tomorrow, doesn't mean tomorrow, but when you do, if you've been adding a little bit of cash to that cash position throughout the bull market, all of a sudden, when you've got these really good deals, you've got the cash ready to go. It's all
Mhm.
employed. It's just, bang, boom, I got some good deals. Fantastic. So that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. All right. And Thanos says, rates are going lower. Why are they still down? Makes no sense. The problem is when it comes to the telecommunication sector, they they're kind of one of these ones that have a delayed reaction. And the reason that they have a delayed reaction is when the rates were going up, customers were looking to reduce phone bills. They were looking to reduce their plans. just because we've begun the rate cuts, customers are not yet ready. So it takes them a bit of time before all of the rate cuts start to filter into the customer. And then the customer starts saying, oh, okay, maybe I can get a little bit more data on my phone. Or maybe I can upgrade my phone now because, rates are lower. So it does have that delay. Now, the good news and the bad news is if we get a 50 basis point cut in December, things are probably going to start to look better once we get into January and February. If we only get a 25 basis points, they'll still look better, but just not as good. It may take a little bit longer to filter in. So we got to see what comes our way here. It's not even a month away, so
With
that'll be
rates
very
lower,
interesting.
aren't consumers also more incentivized to finance everything? So that's also not a good outlook with these telecommunications too, because they have high rates of debt. So
Yeah,
it's a kind of like a double-edged sword with these rates lower, because
it
it just
kind
means
of
higher
is. Yeah,
financing.
absolutely. And it will. I mean, it will get better for them, but
Not now,
not now.
very
And
long
this
term.
is the beautiful thing. If you're looking to play it, you've got some time to do some dollar cost averaging, and then you could cash that out later once they do start recovering, if that's what you're looking to do. Or if you just want an exposure to the communication sector, now's a good time to be adding to your position.
I
So
think right now with rates going down, this would be like the highest volatility period for these stocks. So actually doing like, I would say selling puts and buying calls for these would be a really good idea. If
mm-hmm,
you, well, first of all, you need to know what you're doing first. But I
mm-hmm,
feel like at this time period, like proper hedging with long puts and short calls on
yeah,
these holds could make you a lot of money.
yeah. And Andrew was saying it's the government; they're stepping on them. Well,
That too.
The CRTC did open more of their lines to the third party folks this year, and that has hurt. Yeah, for sure. Reverend is saying, I heard TELUS is opening up some kind of healthcare centers. Yes, in Toronto. So basically, these are going to be kind of like marrying the TELUS virtual health with an actual center. I believe, I'm trying to think, was it 60,000 or 6,000? I think it was 6,000. I think the first one is going to give them room to take on 6,000 patients. So, but they're looking to expand further in Toronto, then Ontario. That is going to create, it's going to give a lot of people family doctors, which is good. So yeah, it's definitely a good move, I think, on TELUS's part to expand that in that way. Now, mind you, they still need the doctors to fill these. So keep that in mind. Just because they're saying, okay, we're going to open up this one, they probably have the doctors, but that will be the limiting factor on how fast they can expand. Because if you don't have the doctors, why are you going to open up another center? So just keep in mind. Now, mind you, they can probably pick from their pool of doctors that they already have on the TELUS Health. So it could be very interesting.
So I'll just add that they currently have two major healthcare centers in downtown Toronto, but they are looking to expand throughout the entirety of Canada, looking at 15 nationwide centers, one focused in Montreal, one in Vancouver. I think there's also one in Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm.
But currently speaking, I think they're the most focused on doing it properly in Toronto, since it seems like
Mm-hmm.
the most established, at least at the beginning.
Yeah. And here we go. We've got our earnings here. So for Nvidia, they came in
Hi.
8.26% high on their earnings, and on their revenue they came in 5.77% high. So that's an extra $1.9 billion they weren't expected to have. But these did fantastic. I mean, this is not a bad earnings. However, the slowdown
Help.
on the chip, obviously, that has impacted things. But when we do look right now in the post, they're not that far below where they were. It's almost looking like, dare I say it, we're actually getting a flat earnings.
I mean, we'll take it. Flat
Flat
is
is
better than
good.
bare.
It's like the market will wake up tomorrow and they'll be like, now we don't know which way to go. Help. Oh dear. Yeah, what can I say? What can I say?
Are you bullish on Nvidia for the long term? I am
For the long
definitely.
term, yes, absolutely. I mean, I'm bullish on pretty much all of the big tech for the long term. Because I understand what's coming, and excuse me, and that really makes me pretty bullish.
Oof. Go drink some coffee right
Yeah,
now.
I'm at the point that I'm probably gonna have to end this in a pretty darn soon because I'm losing that ability to talk.
Oh no.
Well, I
Well,
can still
to be
talk, but
fair,
it's just
I am pretty impressed of the fact that we were able to keep it up for like this long. Pretty much an hour and a half already.
oh,
So that's pretty good, given
I
the
know.
fact.
I'm like, but and it was like, yeah, when you said, "Oh, can I come on today?" I was like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." It'll give my voice a
Yeah.
break. So I definitely like that. All right.
It's to
Let's
help
see.
alleviate the throat just minorly.
Yeah, exactly. Andrew says on the TMX site, if you look up a stock in the technical insights tool, like DOL, Dollarama, CNR, Royal Bank, compared to telecom stocks, it's easy to see what to
Hmm.
invest in for long term. Yeah, I love the technical insights part on the TMX site. Uh, that's just absolutely huge, and you guys will be seeing a lot of that. Like, I'll actually use that. I'll use that when I do the banks. That's
I mean, think about it. Like most of these are dividend growers, and they are part of VDY already. So I mean, you don't have to pick your own stocks. You can literally just look at what VDY is holding and just pick a couple
hmm
there, or even just hold it directly. I think VDY is one of the best Canadian dividend growth holdings that you can look at if you're too lazy to pick your own portfolio, basically.
exactly. And Paul says both Tallis and Bell has early retirement and severance costs last year and this year.
Ooh.
And Larry is saying with Taiwan semi having 30% growth, I'm not surprised. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. All right, guys.
Hmm.
We're at the end. We're at the end.
Are we?
But we are. I don't have much left in me. Um, however, let's bring us up to big
Last look of the
screen.
market.
Big screen. All right. So guys, we are back on Friday. I will be I know I'll be feeling better.
Exciting.
I will be feeling better on Friday. I can't wait. I've got a video coming out on XEQT on Friday as well. So, um, yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Um, yeah, and then
I'm
we'll
not
be back,
mad
of
about the
course.
fact that it's XCQT. It's just like I would have felt like Brookfield or Enbridge would have been better
I really
choices for
wanted to do
deep dives.
Brookfield Corporation,
Yeah.
but maybe what I'll do is maybe the next vote will just be the three that are left, and then we might just do
Or pick
that.
some or as a troll, add some kind of microcap stock in there. That
Uh,
would be pretty funny.
no, because my luck would be that microcap would win, and I'd be like, no. That would be my luck. That would be my luck. All right, everybody. Have yourself a fantastic evening. Like I said, we'll be back on Friday. I can't wait. It's gonna rock.
Yeah,
Until
get some
then,
rest today,
take
Candace.
care,
For
everybody.
sure.